In this tutorial, we are going to configure Android Enterprise within Microsoft Intune. We are going to install Android Enterprise on a freshly rebooted Android device using an enrollment token as the provisioning method. Now, in this scenario, we are focusing on corporate-owned fully management enrollment type, which basically means this is a corporate device and we are going to lock it down within an inch of its life. Now, in this enrollment type, we as administrators control every aspect of the device and also what apps are and are not visible to the users. Now, music to the ears of an Intune administrator. Okay, the first thing we're going to do here is configure device enrollment. So if we go to our Azure portal and we search for Intune and we click here on device enrollment and Android enrollment. Okay, and as mentioned, the option we're going to choose today is corporate owned, fully managed user devices. So if we click on this here, it will give the option for us to turn this on. Now I'm not going to do this on the recording. However, when you click yes here, you will be presented with a QR code. And this is a QR code that you will send to users to allow them to enroll their devices. Okay, so now that is switched on, I have my QR code saved now externally. I've taken a screenshot of that image. What we're going to do now is create some enrollment restrictions. Okay, so back over on our Azure portal, if we click on enrollment restrictions, we're going to create a device type restriction on this occasion, and we will call it Android Enterprise, for example. And click next. And for this scenario, again, we are going to choose Android Enterprise. I'm turning off Android Device Administrator because that is deprecating very, very soon. So we don't want to look at that. Now, we of course need to target some users with this policy. So before this video, I created a security group within Azure and I added my test user to this security group. And this is a group we're going to use in relation to this tutorial. Okay, so now that we have added our group, we are going to go ahead and create our device configuration policy. So click on device configuration, click on profile, and we're going to create a new profile here. And again, just going to call this Android Enterprise. And the platform we choose here is Android Enterprise, and we're going to choose device restrictions. So we're not really going to change much here. You can obviously set these to match the needs of your business. I'm going to be really evil with this one, and we're going to block, let's say we'll block the camera. So I'm not going to allow any of our users to take pictures. It is a corporate device after all. Okay, so we create our device configuration policy here, and again we target the security group with our user, and we click save here. Okay, now back over to Microsoft Intune. We're going to look at now at device compliance. Device compliance policies define the rules and settings that users and devices must meet to be compliant. So if a device does not meet one of the settings that we configure here, then the user will be unable to enroll that device within Intune. So we click on create policy, very similar process here to the previous policies. Again, we call it Android Enterprise. Okay, and this is a corporate device. And let's say we could choose here, let's go for minimum operating system. So if a device doesn't have an operating system of at least Android, let's say 6.0, then the device won't be compliant. Again, you will set these settings to match the needs and requirements of your own business. And once again, we're going to target our security group with this policy. The last thing we're going to do here is we're going to publish an app to our configuration here. So for the purposes of this scenario, we will look at possibly, let's just choose the Outlook app for example. So from Intune, if we click on Manage Google Play, down at the bottom left, and we can use this sync button once we have actually published an app. So we click on Open the Manage Google Play Store, and we search for our desired app. In this case, we are looking at Outlook. Very simple process here. Click Approve and approve again. Okay, and back over on our Azure portal, if we click on apps here, we still don't see our Outlook app, so we need to run a sync here. So Manage Google Play, click on the sync button, and if we go back to apps, we should see our Outlook app has now been published to Intune. Okay, and again, we're going to assign this app to our test group with our test user. So if we click on Properties, and if we scroll down to the bottom here and click on Assignments and find our Android Enterprise user group. So we're looking available for enrolled devices and Android Enterprise users, and ensure that we click Save here. Okay, so now we have successfully configured Android Enterprise in our Azure tenant. Now, how does this look from a user's perspective? So when a user first turns on a fresh out-of-the-box device, or they are switching the device on after a factory reset, they must click on a blank area on the device display 7 times, and this will open the QR reader on the device. If the user then points the device camera at the QR code that we generated earlier in our tenant, this will begin the process of enrolling the device within Intune. All the user has to do is enter their corporate email and password in when they are prompted, and they will be guided through the enrolment process. It really is that simple. The user will be presented with a completely locked down device, and the only additional app they will see is Microsoft Outlook. They will not be able to download or utilize any other apps unless an administrator pushes this out via Intune. Now in the next guide, we will configure Android Enterprise work profile devices, in other words, BYOD.